Alright, so ATMs not connected to a bank.
Okay. Like the standalone, like Bank of
Yep.
America's? Yeah.
Yep. Any of them.
Yeah.
It's just an ATM. There's no bank to it. If someone's in there and you need to go to the ATM,
Right.
do you go in?
No.
Why?
It's kind of like a privacy thing a little bit, you know, like, I mean, I'm not a fucking identity thief, but, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, you get your little guy thing, you get your area, you get your little time, you do your thing. I'm not gonna fucking peek over your shoulder, I'm not gonna look at your shit, like, I'm good. I'm just gonna kind of, like, hover outside.
I've got some reasons why you shouldn't wait.
Okay, let's hear them. Actually, I can think of a good one. When it's really fucking cold out, I'm not standing outside.
That's one. It's
Yeah.
Massachusetts. It gets cold.
Okay, fair point.
If it's raining. If there's weather involved, that's
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
I
okay.
actually wasn't going to go that angle. The other angle, I actually think it is more creepy and more potentially, not necessarily like dangerous, but it's much more uneasy if you're in the ATM and someone's just sitting out there staring at you, like giving you like a look, like, or you have to stand out there and like look around like you're a fucking drug dealer, waiting for someone to come, like waiting for your buyer to come.
Yeah.
So therefore now it's awkward on both sides because the person's trying to get out of the ATM as soon as they can.
Right.
Because this person's waiting for them outside looking like a fucking creep. And
Okay.
the person outside now has to look like an idiot. So it's like, wow, this person thinks I'm looking like a creep. And again, you have to like look around like you're fucking loitering.
Yeah, there's really no good way around that to get away, like, to not look like a creep, to not look like you're up to something. Because you're either like hovering inside the ATM, like right behind them, or you're like posted up outside, right outside the door, like staring into the glass.
Now, depending on the layout of the ATM, that could change too. Because there was an ATM in Bridgewater, and the ATM was closest to the door, and the like open side,
Yeah.
you have to cross the ATM. Now that makes for a very strange
Yeah.
entrance.
Yeah.
Because the person's at the ATM, so you need to cross their back to
Right.
get to like the opener spot.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Yeah. That's
That's strange. So it may be layout dependent, but not many ATMs are laid out like that.
Yeah.
Also, second, we create a line scenario.
So that's the other thing that I thought of. So the first thing that comes to my mind is the Bank of America back home in Medford in the old Johnny's Food Master parking lot. It's just
Yep.
it's a standalone
Yep.
ATM. That apparently is the busiest fucking ATM in the world. Because every time I would have to go there to deposit a check, or just, you know, do regular ATM stuff, there would be at least 3 or 4 other people there. So in that scenario, there's at least one other person inside, and then the line forms outside the door.
Right, and that's just a space thing.
Yeah, and I purposely avoided that ATM at all costs whenever I could because I couldn't stand how busy it was all the fucking time.
But going to a non-busy ATM that all of a sudden is busy for whatever reason, now we have a line scenario. No one wants to get in lines, and no one wants. Like, do you want to be the person that cut someone else because they sat in their car and waited?
Oh, that's the fucking worst.
It's like, hey, I was waiting for that, and it's like, if they call you out, hey, I was waiting for that, and it's like,
Oh, my bad, dude.
my bad, I didn't know,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, you're the bad person. No, you were sitting in your car, or you go in, do your thing, and then you saw the person that was already sitting there, now go in and do their thing, and it's like, okay, well, hey, snooze you lose, but also it's like, well, I just kind of fucked that person too.
Yeah.
So, my whole thing, ATM etiquette is horrible. It's horrible. No one can win.
Well, yeah, I think it's one of those things too where no one really knows what to do. Like, people are just awkward.
And it wasn't until I actually got to college so Citizens doesn't have like the ATMs in a random parking lot.
Right.
Bank of America does.
Right.
So maybe that's part of why I didn't see it, because I've always had Citizens. Citizens are usually attached to a branch, or they're in a supermarket.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually notice it. Actually, and I thought there was nothing wrong with going into the ATM and waiting in line. So, I mean, obviously you don't look over the person's shoulder.
Yeah.
But in West Medford, that's what it used to be.
Hey, how's it going?
West Medford, that's what it used to be.
Was that a 7 or an 8 that you pressed over there?
Why are you covering that? But the whole thing, no one can win in a standalone drive-up ATM.
Right. The drive-through ATMs are pretty convenient, though.
Very easy.
Yeah.
And the ones that are typically in a branch are... You have two things. They're usually a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So usually it's like ATM, the door into the branch, and then space behind.
Right.
So you can kind of get out of the way, like give someone their space, give someone their room.
True.
While also establishing your point in the line.
Yeah.
And also...
Like, line starts here, bitch.
Yeah, and if you're going to the ATM during business hours, well, then it's not weird if you go and stand in there because the bank's open.
Right.
Like, there's people, there's lights, there's shit like that. So, how do we fix the ATM etiquette? What is the right way?
You could post a sign.
No. No signs.
Okay.
People don't listen to signs.
Alright, that's all I got then. I'm useless past that.
We're fixing the ATM crisis.
Did this happen to you today?
Well, it didn't happen to me, but I was there for it.
You were there.
Chris went to the ATM. He's all, hey, can you see if there's anyone in there? No, dude, no one in there. Alright. And someone got up and got in there. And it was the slowest person ever.
So he just waited outside?
He waited in the car.
Oh, he got jumped?
No,
Like
he pulled in. so he pulled in. And he goes, "Wow, this fucking idiot is gonna open the door as I pull in, so I'm gonna go 2 spots over."
Yeah.
Said fucking idiot was the guy who went in the ATM before him. Got out of the car, looking around, doesn't know where the hell he is.
Yeah.
Went in first, and then it just makes for a very weird spot because now there's a couple parking spots in between the ATM and Chris.
Right.
He could easily get jumped in line.
Right.
There has to be a better way.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean,
you could two easy ones. You can choose to go to a bank ATM, like a location ATM, like a branch ATM.
Yeah.
Or you can go to a drive-through ATM.
Or, here's a solution I just thought of. I don't know the last time I've been to a fucking ATM, so if you're gonna deposit a check, do a fucking mobile deposit.
Oh, I'm just thinking it's people going to grab a couple bucks because wherever they go it's cash only. I mean, I go to the ATM for gambling purposes and haircuts.
Yeah,
and I'm squirreling money away from my golf membership.
I almost never go to the ATM. I never really need cash. I also always find myself in the situation, like, if we're out in a group and some things need to be paid for, I'm like, that's cool, I'll put it on my card, and then everyone pays me in cash. So I just acquire my cash that way.
Or electronic money.
That too.
I'm going to start paying you.
Venmo V, Albano, O2.
I'm going to start paying you in doubloons.
I mean...
Pirate treasure.
Maybe I'll start piracy. I'll get that going.
You know what I think? Know what I think we should do to solve the ATM etiquette?
What do we have to do?
Just start going in. One person at the ATM.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, just don't be a fucking...
It's a batting order.
Don't be a pussy.
Nah, it's a batting order. One person at the ATM, one person inside.
Yeah.
Then after that, you start the line outside.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair.
I think that works. We just solved the ATM etiquette crisis.
Yeah. All right, that's cool.
Look at that. Fucking solving problems.
And yeah, just crushing world problems right now.
I bet you this bothers more people than we think.
Oh, no, it definitely does.